to you all. My name is Ricola Summers, and today we as the Best and Writers Group will be giving a presentation on the various stages of research writing. Now, in our presentation, we'll be talking about the research topic and introduction. We'll be talking about the research problem, the objectives, the hypothesis, the literature review, and the research design. We'll also be looking at the discussion, the conclusion, and the recommendation. Lastly, we'll put the YouTube link at the end of the slide. Now, firstly, we'll be starting with the research topic. A research topic is a subject or an issue that the researcher is interested in when they're conducting a research. Now, the importance of a research topic is that it sparks curiosity to the reader. Now, when a good research topic will determine whether the reader is interested in reading the rest of the research or not. The next one is that it guides the research process. The topic helps one to focus on specific information without the information being too broad or being too disjointed. The next one is that it provides focus and direction. By that we mean that it acts as a central organizing principle, giving a clear path for the entire presentation or study. Next we'll be continuing with the introduction. Now the introduction is an opening section of a research paper which provides the background information, which is also known as the historical overview of research. We'll be going on with the purposes of an introduction. The first purpose is that it provides the researcher with a clearer understanding of the research paper, also providing the aims and the objectives of the study. The next one is that it helps to review literature. It briefly discusses the relevant or previous information written by other researchers in order to show the literature that has been, in order to show one's work and to fill the gaps in literature. The next one is that it engages the reader. A good introduction, it keeps the reader hooked onto the paper or interested in the research, helping them to continue with reading the paper. Lastly, it establishes credibility. It shows the author's understanding, also showing the rationale of the study, which helps to bring credibility with the reader.
Standing before you is Dr. Seneca, and I will be presenting to you about a research problem. A research problem is a statement about an area of concern or a troubling question that exists in the scholarly literature. So we have the purpose of a research problem. It introduces to the reader about the importance of the topic being studied. It also defines the parameters of what is being investigated. And lastly, it provides the framework for reporting the results and indicates what is probably necessary to conduct a case study.
My name is Amy, and I'll be taking you through the objectives. Objectives clearly state what the study wants to achieve. They guide the research process, helping each step stay focused on answering the main question. The importance of objectives in research. Focus. They help narrow the research scope to specific achievable goals. Guidance. They provide a roadmap for selecting research methods and designing the study. Clarity. They ensure that the researcher and audience understand the purpose of the study. Evaluation. It serves as a benchmark for assessing whether the study has achieved its goals. Then moving on to the types of research objectives. We have the general objectives. These ones they explain the main goal of the research in a clear and brief way. The specific objectives. They are small goals that help reach the main aim by answering questions and guiding data collection. And lastly, we have the descriptive objectives. These ones they focus on explaining what something is like without looking at why it happens. A research hypothesis is a statement that proposes a possible explanation for an observable phenomenon or pattern. It guides the direction of a study and predicts the outcome of the investigation. It also acts as a compass, directing the researcher towards a meaningful conclusion. Moving on to the characteristics of a real hypothesis. A real hypothesis has to be specific and relevant to the research problem. It has to have clearly described variables. It is free of language barriers and ambiguity, and it is also rooted in a thorough literature research. Moving on to the types of a hypothesis in research. We have two main types of hypothesis in research, mainly null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. A And our hypothesis, it states that there is no change in the dependent variable due to changes in the independent variables. And then the alternative hypothesis states that there is a significant difference or relationship between the variables used.
My name is Mara Kisam. I'll be taking you through a literature review. A literature review is a systematic, clear, and reproducible method of identifying, evaluating, and synthesizing the existing body of a completed and recorded work done by researchers and scholars. And then the steps of conducting a literature review. Firstly, you have to select a bibliography, and then you choose search terms, and then you do the review, and lastly you synthesize the results. That is grouping together of information or findings. And then you do the purpose of a literature review. Firstly, it helps to show the researchers' familiarity with the existing body of knowledge in a research. And secondly, it helps to avoid duplication, that is, to avoid repetition of already existing research. And then lastly, it helps the reader to understand the scholarly conversation about your research problem.
Standing before you is Papa Sanoka, and I will be presenting to you about the research design. A research design is a systematic plan of framework that guides the collection and analysis of data in a research study. So we have the purpose of a research design. A research design helps in choosing the appropriate research method to use. It helps in saving time and resources, also avoids bias and errors, and ensures accuracy and validity. Types of research design. We have the qualitative research design and the quantitative research design. The qualitative research design explores meanings, experiences, and concepts through non-numerical data. And then the quantitative research design involves numerical and statistical analysis.
Moving to discussion. Discussion is mainly a section in which a researcher understands the exact meaning of the result by exploring the significance of research. What discussion section does? Firstly, it interprets results, and then it answers the research question, and lastly, it highlights the significance of findings.
My name is Isabel Kapolaka, and I'm talking about the conclusion. According to Guy and Alex, the conclusion is the final section where you summarize and wrap up the research, presenting key ideas, key findings, and insights derived from the study. The end, and it's a synthesis of the main points. This simply means it's where you show how your main points fit together, creating new understanding that simply answers the reader's so-what question. Third point, it should be brief and not contain any information because it could confuse the reader. The functions of a conclusion or the purpose of a conclusion should be that it should summarize the main points, should provide closure to the reader. Third point is that it should point out the significance of your findings. This simply means that it should show or tell the reader how important and relevant the findings are. Fourth point, it should make the reader want to learn more about the topic of discussion.
My name is Becky Bailey, and I'll be talking about the recommendations. These are proposed actions a researcher suggests to the stakeholders to address an issue on the research tool. Moving on to the purpose of the recommendations. They provide a vital role in decision making by offering expert advice and strategic guidance. They also provide stakeholders with the best course of action, which bridges the gap between the findings and the real-world application. They also give solutions to the issues during the research evaluation. They aim to improve policies, systems, and practices. Moving onwards to the types of recommendations, we have policy recommendations, practice recommendations, and further research recommendations. Now we have the key points of the recommendation being specific, realistic, and aligned with the study's findings and the scope. These are our references. In conclusion, we say all the stages we mentioned are essential in research writing. That's all we have. Thank you.